Today is the last day of 2023, which means it's time to go and look back at the Nintendo Switch games that graced the system that were absolutely amazing. I'm Eric, and in this video we are talking about the 10 best Nintendo Switch games, in my opinion, from 2023. We're talking remakes, we're talking brand new games, some indie games, some weird titles. Everything on this list is absolutely amazing, so let's go ahead and talk about my best or favorite Nintendo Switch games of the year. Number 10 on this list is a little bit of a weird one, and that is F-Zero 99. Now, you might be thinking this is kind of a game that probably wouldn't end up on this list. However, I look back and played this a ton, so I figured I had to add it. It is one of those weird games that's free from Nintendo. It's a battle royale game mixed with F-Zero, which is perfect for it. When this came out, it was absolutely insane, and still is pretty insane considering this is a arcade game back from way back when, and an SNES game that they turned into a perfectly awesome game with the retro feel. It feels amazing. It controls really good, and every time you play, you just want to get better and better because you're probably not finishing in first, and if you are, that's pretty impressive. But I think this is a game that was kind of underrated a little bit, but definitely well worth picking up, considering it was absolutely free if you've got a Nintendo Switch. Number 9 is a game that I absolutely loved, and it paid homage to the previous games kind of like it, and that is Bomb Rush Cyberfunk. Now, this is not technically a spiritual successor, but sort of is, to Jet Set Radio Future or Jet Set Radio. These are a ton of fun. I absolutely love the soundtrack for this. The graphics and animations just look really good on this game. And who doesn't like going around skating and grinding on rails, doing tricks and all that stuff? This game is one of those games I definitely think you should pick up. It's pretty cheap on the eShop right now, which is absolutely insane because it is such an amazing game. But I feel like this was one of those games that kind of popped out of nowhere and was absolutely well worth picking up. I didn't really hear much about it. I heard about it like once, and then the game just came out and it was absolutely awesome. This is perfect for the Nintendo Switch Lite because it's a perfect game to play on the go. I remember I was traveling when this released, so of course I bought it immediately, downloaded it on my Switch Lite, and took it on the go with me and was having so much fun playing this game. Next, we have We Love Katamari, which I always call We Heart Katamari. This is an unopened copy, but I did get it digitally as well, which is kind of weird. I'm not sure why I did that, but this game is absolutely amazing. This is a remake of the PlayStation 2 game, and if you pay attention to the rest of this list, you'll see there's a bunch of remakes in it. But this is one of those games that's a ton of fun. If you've never played Katamari before, you're basically rolling around in a ball. You try to pick up things that are smaller than you, which adds to your size, and you just have to figure out through the map how to get bigger. There's things that you can roll through. It's really awesome and definitely a ton of fun. The music to this thing will get stuck in your head. You play it over and over again. It's a ton of fun. It's one of those games that's kind of weird when you think about it, and it's kind of hard to explain just rolling around being fun, but it absolutely is. If you've never played Katamari, you gotta pick up either this one or Katamari Damacy. Both of them are on the Nintendo Switch as remasters or remakes. Ton of fun and definitely well worth picking up. I absolutely love this game. The number 7 spot is probably a game that won't be on anybody's top list, and that is Detective Pikachu Returns. Now, I absolutely love this game, and I feel like number 7 is a good spot for this to be at. However, I feel like a lot of people aren't going to add this to their list because they probably didn't play the first one on the 3DS, and if you don't like reading puzzle games, this game isn't going to be for you. However, the fact that Pikachu talks still is absolutely hilarious to me and makes this game so much fun. You're basically kind of playing as a detective, obviously, trying to figure out puzzles and solve mysteries that have gone on in the Pokemon world, which is absolutely a ton of fun, and seeing these Pokemon doing different jobs or things that you wouldn't normally see them do is pretty awesome. However, I feel like this is a game that's kind of slow to get into, and if you didn't play the first one, you're not really missing much, but it probably doesn't feel as great to you. It could have been a little more faster paced. I think people would probably pick this game up and be bored if they'd never played the first one, but it's still a ton of fun, and it looks like a Pokemon game, nothing fancy there, but it's definitely fun and well worth picking up if you enjoyed the first game. Here we are at number 6, and we're talking about yet another remake for the Nintendo Switch, and that is Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. Now, this game originally came out on the Nintendo Wii, but I never actually ended up playing it, so this game feels like a brand new game for me. I feel like this is probably one of those games that people either played on the Wii or didn't, which I mean, kind of makes sense, but this is a game, when it came to the Switch, I said, oh, I have that game on the Wii, but I've never actually played it, so I'm going to pick it up on the Switch, play it, take it on the go. Absolutely love this. I love Kirby games, and this is one of those that I just didn't play for some reason, and it's definitely a ton of fun, well worth it, but at the price tag, you could probably get the Wii version and play it, and it'd be cheaper. However, this is a ton of fun and definitely well worth it. Like I said, love Kirby games, so this is the one. It's a platformer, it's an easy, cute kind of game, and it's definitely a ton of fun. And you can play it up to 4 players if you'd like to. So pick this up if you don't have it already, because I definitely think it's well worth having. Number 5 is yet again another remaster, and that is Metroid Prime Remaster for the Switch. This was originally a GameCube game and is absolutely amazing. They took an amazing GameCube game and turned it into what I think is a really, really good looking Switch game. It controls really well. This game is a ton of fun. Now, I will be honest and say I need to play this game more because I didn't make it all the way through, but it's a ton of fun, and if you've never played a Metroid Prime game, this is probably a great way to get into it. If you don't have the money to spend on a GameCube and the games, this is the way to do it. I hope Nintendo does more GameCube remaster games in the future, which we know we're already getting Mario Thousand Year Door, but this is one of those games I think was definitely well worth adding, and I know a lot of people are still waiting for Metroid Prime 4, but in the meantime, I feel like this was a great game to kind of fill that gap, because who knows when we're going to get that game, but this was definitely a game that was cool and kind of shocked me a little bit because it's a great game, but I just didn't expect it to come out on the Switch this year. Number 4 on this list is Pikmin 4. I think this is a perfect spot for this. Honestly, this game came out of nowhere for me and shocked me, but I will say I did enjoy the Pikmin games beforehand. However, this really got me back into Pikmin. This is a ton of fun. I don't know why I didn't enjoy the other Pikmin games as much, but going back and playing those as well, this is a ton of fun. Now, I know you're probably saying, well, why aren't you talking about 1, 2, or 3? Those are kind of games that I say kind of wrap up into this, but this game I think is absolutely amazing. If you've never played a Pikmin game, you can pick this up, play it, and it be like the first game in the series for you. Absolutely wild that this game is so much fun. If you try to explain this to someone, they're going to be like, why is that fun? That doesn't sound fun at all. But this game for me was absolutely addicting. I played it a ton, and I still am like this close to finishing it, and occasionally I keep going back to it. I really need to finish it, but it's a ton of fun and definitely needed to be at number 4 on this list. Number 3 is Mario RPG, and I bought this game both physically and digitally, so this one is still sealed, which I kind of did that for a few games this year, which is kind of weird, but whatever. This is absolutely insane. This game was always awesome on the Super Nintendo with the pixel art and everything about it. I absolutely loved it. But when they announced that it's coming to the Switch and showed these kind of graphics, I knew I was going to pick this game up and absolutely love it even more. Now, I will say, if you never played the first one, it doesn't matter. You could pick this up and really enjoy it, but if you did play the first one, you can go through and see some things that you didn't expect because it was kind of hard to see on screen or things like that. This is one of those games that blew my mind when I saw it. When they first announced it, I knew, okay, I gotta pick this game up. I'm gonna absolutely love it. And the artwork is so amazing. It feels great. I love games like this, so I feel like it was perfect for me. This was an amazing game, and I'm so glad that Nintendo remade it because it's definitely well worth it. And I think number 3 on this list definitely deserves to be Super Mario RPG. You could probably already guess what the last 2 games are, and it's Zelda Tears of the Kingdom or Super Mario Wonder. These are both absolutely amazing games, and honestly, while I was working on this game, I've gone back and forth which one of these should be number 1 and which one of these should be number 2, but I'm gonna have to make a quick decision here and say the Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is probably number 2 on this list, but it was like super close. And hear me out why this probably should be number 1, and I'm still going back and forth with it on my mind and in my head. And depending on the day, it is number 1. Depending on the hour, it's probably number 1. But for this list, I'm putting this at number 2 because this is a game that is pretty much Breath of the Wild 2. It feels very much like that game, but with a ton of amazing added stuff. The crafting is absolutely amazing. The gameplay is a ton of fun. I absolutely love this game, and I think this is better than Breath of the Wild, which makes sense. It takes what Breath of the Wild was and adds onto it. But I have a problem with it being number 1 because of that. This isn't just we made a new game. It's okay, we have something here. We're just going to add to it, and it's going to be the same map and the same functionality with some changes. It kind of feels more like a DLC. If this was like a $40 DLC, I would accept it for being that and would pay for it. But it's a full-priced game. I have a hard time putting this at number 1 today, but it's definitely up there and worthy of number 1 to me. Maybe tomorrow it'll be number 1 for me. Who knows? Which obviously means that Super Mario Bros. Wonder is number 1 on this list. And this is, again, what I said was kind of going back and forth the whole time I've been thinking about this video. I couldn't decide, but I thought about it, and I feel like this game brought more to the table that was new, innovative, creative, compared to Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Don't get me wrong, this is a Mario platformer when you dial it down to it. However, I feel like the creativity that Nintendo took with this game, they kind of stepped out of the box for it and made it crazy. Now, there's points in this game where it feels like whoever made it was probably on drugs or thinking about being on drugs because it was absolutely wild and going crazy. But I feel like this is one of those games that you could pick up if you've never played a Mario game and make it all the way through and have a ton of fun. The creativity, like I said, was absolutely wild. They basically threw everything that they could at this game that worked, and it worked wonders. I wondered, like, seriously though, but this game is amazing and definitely well worth it. Now, I do think Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is probably a game that I could play more, replay it more, and enjoy it more, but when it came down to it, looking at these 2 games, it was a very tough decision, but today I went with Mario Wonder. Tomorrow, like I said, it might be Zelda, but who knows? These are both absolutely amazing games, and I absolutely love them. So there you have it. That is my top 10 Nintendo Switch games of the year. But, I mean, some of those were hard to figure out whether they should be on the list and what number they should be on the list. So I want to know what you think. Comment down below and list your top 10. The Switch had some amazing games this year, and I can't wait to see what they do in 2024. But are we going to get a Switch 2 in 2024? I'm not sure, but that would be definitely awesome. I'm going to get out of here because it is the end of the year, and I've got some stuff I've got to do. So check out that video out if you haven't already. But I've been playing on my PlayStation 5, The Last of Us Part 1. Absolutely amazing game. And Astro's Playroom. Ton of fun. I just finished Astro's Playroom. I'm about 3 or 4 hours into The Last of Us. So I gotta get out of here and go play some more of that. So check out that video out if you haven't already.